Okay, can anyone hear me in the chat? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, good. Hi, everyone. My name is James Curley. I'm going to commentate, or at least talk over. So I just got back home, and looking at this game, it's even. No bingos on the board, it looks like. And Dave is taking his turn. Looks like Dave is going to be very humble. Okay. Hi to everyone in chat. And I haven't even looked at the standings this morning. I saw the first game, or most of the first game. So Dave is at 8-1, and Jim is at 6-3. Okay, so like yesterday, if I'm just getting confused. I'm looking at there were some challenges earlier on, but I wonder what words were challenged. Okay, if you see any good moves, put them in the chat, and then I'll talk through the moves I see also. And Jim has got double L and G, which is not great, and it doesn't look like he's going to bingo. And Dave only has one vowel. And it looks like Craig has goeth as an option. That seems a pretty good option. What else could he play here? Yes, 14E, Rolag, Humbler, hooking humble. That's actually a quite interesting move. Obviously, after Dave's turn, we probably are not thinking Dave has a bingo prone rack. We don't really know. Oh, Thorpe and Thorpe were challenged. Okay. I'm guessing neither of these players are from Northern England if they don't know what Thorpe is. Okay, so Jim is keeping a fairly-ish good lead, but not scoring that greatly. And, well, I guess LLR is a terrible leave, so hopefully that works out for him. And Dave clearly just taking some points, keeping his X, half setting up his X, I guess. That's a pretty good play. And still have both blanks to come. Yes, I think Jim is going to have one more balancing move. Well, and Dave's pretty looks like he's going to bingo. Yeah, that's a well. I'm going to focus on Jim's rack, but yeah, we've already seen some good bingos for Dave. So Jim does need to keep scoring here. What are the candidate plays he could make? There aren't really very many great scoring spots on the board. I guess hooking humble is something he could look at trying to do. Does anybody else have any strong options? I think, well, he's playing glow. Yeah. Gorgia has been suggested by Quackle Speedy Player. Hooking humble. I guess there just weren't many good options there. I think I like hooking humble with something like Oa or something like that. So he's got a... Jim did pull a bingo. And after... Well, Dave is not waiting. He's just playing next door. I wonder if... Yes, Jim will definitely know the 7. But will he know it takes the S? And I think even if he doesn't know it takes the S, he's going to try it. Because he kind of needs to. I think Jim will find this. Yeah, there are 2 7s, but obviously only one of them can take an S. And it looks like he's seen it immediately, which is good. But Dave drew the other blank. So that's the second game today I've seen where Dave's double blanked his opponent. Yeah, this is one of those words that if you're studying, you just immediately see it and you just type it in immediately. You just, it goes in your brain and out of your brain within half a second. It's hard to commit it to memory, as in be 100% sure it's a word. But I think he's down 118. I think it's time to go big or go home. Yeah, and Dave's going to have a bunch of plays. Yeah, he's playing it. That's great. Well done, Jim. And see if anybody in the chat. Well, Dave's checking it. I guess cursory check because it's an INGS word, and if you're not 100%, why not? Especially as he could bingo there. But Dave's rack. Bonus points to anybody in the chat who has studied the CSW 19 new words. There's a bingo I see on Dave's rack that is only acceptable after July 1. See if anyone sees that. Yep, somebody got it. Making the blank an N. So a pretty high probability new word. Okay, I actually should be focused on whether he could get a bingo here. I'm sure there is something. Oh, yes, Taffias, right? T-A-F-F-I-A-S. You can spell Taffia with 1 F. Oh, so Antifaz is in NWL too. Okay, good. You can spell Taffia T-A-F-I-A and F-F as well. And so that would play down the side of Wapiti to glow. If I'm counting the squares correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it fits. But this is pretty much... yeah, well done, Dave. This is good. Good play by both of them. And there's a bunch of other stuff. He could have, obviously with IF, the heaters and fatsias. Yeah, sorry, somebody suggested that earlier. Bunch of stuff. Well, a lot of 5 points being thrown around in this game. Feel bad for Jim here, but it just looks like things didn't break his way. It's hard in those earlier moves where you get bogged down in playing short when maybe a few longer words get you more points, more turnover, especially when you're not leaving great leaves. But from his perspective, he's down 110-ish. Maybe, just maybe, he shouldn't give up just yet. Well, there's only 7 in the bag. Yeah, I think Kane is probably the most likely play down the side just to score some points. Another good rack for Dave. Dave really is motoring in this tournament. And apologies if you can hear my neighbor's dog. He's quite excitable. Yeah, I don't know if I was Jim at this point, would I be trying to balance my rack? I guess possibly, but there aren't many good bingo lanes open. And you know Dave's going to shut them down, so I might just try and score and keep the spread tight here. You keep EEO. I guess there's 2 U's, 2 A's. But if you draw at the Z, it's pretty good. Yeah, he's doing the obvious, scoring the points. So it looks like Dave's bingo, his 7 is homeless. Jim draws the Z. And there are 3 in the bag, so I guess Dave does have to just check whether Jim's going to have a bingo somewhere. And also he'll be trying to look where are the big Z spots. Does he need to block those? I guess that an obvious is A4 Zoea or something like that. It's probably worth blocking there. He could even play a longer wood through the E. He just doesn't want to just play 2 tiles. And it looks like we will be seeing a lot of Dave, given Dave's position in the tournament. I should actually have a look at what happened in the last game. Oh, that was the last one. I saw that. Dave beat Chris Lipe. Okay. That was and then this is the next game. So I don't know how much time they have on their clocks, but I guess Dave is going to be quite focused on maximizing spread, given the number of people who are only 1 game behind him. This tournament could be very close, and so getting every spread point is going to be valuable. And if I was him, I'd probably be trying to block that Zoea spot. That's probably what is drawing my attention the most. Maybe just something simple down the side of it. Yeah, good point by Craig. Dave can set up his S as well, if he so wishes. And I'm just also thinking, are there any interesting front extensions to Humble? I'm going to check them out. Let's have a look. Nope. Humble is by itself. And shout out to Mark Frankilon, who's just gone to 7-3. Nice to see Mark having a good tournament. Okay, Dave's just playing super safe and conservative there. I guess he's preventing any bingo possibility and stopping that Z spot. Well, it's not a great Z spot, but a little bit of a Z spot. That's a nice suggestion by Craig, putting cut, setting up the S, especially if you draw the Z for something like zoners. Well, zoners is not a word, but a Z, some Z at the top. Okay, I should be looking at, yeah, somebody suggesting Fie, F-I-E. What else do we have here? Well, more and more, it's making me realize, looking at these games, that in CSW 19, ZE is just going to be played all over the place. But we can't play that just yet. Yes, playing toes and then setting up Fie as an outplay. That seems pretty good. It doesn't score tons of points. You definitely want to be looking to try and go out in 2 here. Yeah, maybe toes down in the B column to the E of Reading. Well, that then it leaves you F-I-E-E. I think you have to play toes maybe as a 4. What's he doing? He's playing, well, he's playing Fie first. F-I-E. 32 points. Yeah, Toesy, 5E. Dave checking the score. Yeah, Toesy across the top looks good. Well, I feel a bit bad for Jim in this game. It was very tight, no bingos, and then Dave just blitzed him. Dave had the 1 vowel rack of broth. Played broth to get rid of his 1 vowel, picked up a great draw, and then it was back-to-back great draws. And a few more results. We have got we have Adam Logan just won. He's at 8-2, and Andrew Fisher just won. He is at 8-2, and Dave Weekend lost. He's at 7-3. He lost to Adam Logan, and Dave is going to play Nanas, and he misses Nanuas. So Dave misses his outplay there, or he's picking them back up. Maybe he's going to have another little think about this. Yeah, he is going to have another little think about it. Somebody's asking, what do I Google to get the standings? If you go to Cross Tables, there's a link on the front page of Cross Tables. And it's a really close tournament right now. It's a lot of fun to watch. Um, Depending on the result of Rashid against Will, we may have three people at 8-2. Is Dave is Dave recounting the whole game or something? What's he doing? Is he checking his tracking? He's recounting the whole game. Okay. Yeah, Paneet does point out that Tozy was the correct play. It does block this outplay. So on my brain's not up to gear yet. I'm not at full speed myself, but yeah, Tozy was the right play. Yeah, I have no idea why Dave is tracking at this point. I guess if he doesn't have an outplay, well, he does have an outplay, but if he hasn't seen the outplay, he's presumably trying to make sure that he's not leaving something obvious for his opponent. Yeah, he just missed that. It happens. But that's a lot of well, looking at this the evaluation there, that's a lot of points to have left on the table. A lot of spread points. And Jim will go out. I'm interested in the chat, people mentioning words that are in the NWL, or I guess it's NWL now. Yeah, I've played Collins for the last, I guess, 10 years, and so I've completely forgotten what's in what. I'm not one of these people that is able to remember what was in what. Which, if I was one of those people, I'd probably be better at Scrabble. But it's interesting to know that some of that Nanu was his Colin. Okay, not Dave. Jim plays his outplay. So unlucky Jim, but many more games to go. So that will make Dave 9-1. He's going to play Andrew Fisher next. And our 8-2s are Adam Logan and Andrew Fisher. 7-3s are Dave Wiegand and Mohammed Suleiman and Mark Frankelon. Rashid is at 7-2, so he could get to 8-2, or he may go back to 7-3. Waiting on the result of his game with Chris Leip. So and Will Anderson making a comeback. He's at 6-3, so he could be at 7-3 next. We'll see what happens. Okay, I guess I'll take a mini break, and then I'll start commentating on the next game, and hopefully I'll be at my top speed by then. Okay, looks like we're back, everyone. Maybe just if somebody could just say hi in the chat so I know my sound is working. But good to be back. We have a good game. We've got David Koenig against Andrew Fisher. The handshake has happened. Thanks, Seth. Sound is on. The handshake has happened. The bag is being shuffled. And we have Dave on the left, and we have Andrew on the right. It looks like Andrew will kick us off. Nope, David. We've seen that a lot today already. Dave pulling a blank, and he's going first. And choose your own bingo from that rack. There's a few different options. What do we like? Is there anything where you can get a 7 with a doubling the A, E, L, or O? Maybe something like Carola. I would probably play Carola, but maybe there's something that doesn't give an S back hook. Areola, good suggestion. Yeah, that does not give a back hook. Also, pre-oral or per-oral don't give back hooks. Areola obviously having the advantage of not giving another floater. I think, yes, Areola is probably best. Always interesting with these moves as to how much time should you give it. Should you be someone who spends 2 minutes or so to actually work through all the possibilities and find the absolute best one? Or should you just play something and get on with it? And I think Dave's taken the time. Myself, as somebody who ends up in time trouble if I mess around too early, I might only spend a short amount of time. It looks like Dave is going through all the different options. And I think where to place Areola would be the next question. And yep, good point. Per oral, you can put the P and the R either side of the star. Well, actually, so oral finishing AL, yeah, that makes sense. He's going with, is he going with relator? What's that? Well, I'm a bit surprised, but I guess he has his reasons. I don't know what they are. Okay, well, it's worked out for him, I guess, because, no, he's not playing that. Okay. Hang on. Okay, what just happened? It wasn't a T. It was an X. Well, that all took us by surprise. Okay, we'll pretend that didn't happen. So now this actually makes this move more interesting. Is this you know his rack, you know he's going to bingo, and I guess he's just playing the 5 to get most of the tiles off his rack with only one vowel. And he is giving up some. Well, I guess there's nothing from the T with that rack. Okay, so Craig's not exactly sure what the blank was, but we think it was the X. I don't see anything from the T. And he's put an R in the double lane, and I don't see anything through the R. So that's, I guess as things go, fairly safe. So somebody's asking, did we know it was relaxer? We're not 100%, but yeah, hopefully not real labor. We don't know what it was. What do we do on this move? Probably I'm looking for bingos with the B now. That's where I've kind of moved my attention. And there's a few, aren't there? Things like laborers and yes, Borrelia all the way down to the triple lane. Laborers and arboreal. Well, I think what's interesting about him making that mistake is we'll see how if it phases him, if he gets starts playing a little bit looser. But it looks like he's just going to ignore it and move on. He's seen arboreal. And I think that that's pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty safe. It's not really giving much back. There's the E to the front there of that double lane, but that's not super easy to hit. And not a great rack for Andrew. You'll have to juggle this. Obviously the U and the double R is pretty yucky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the blank was an A that time. What to do if you were Andrew here? Well, you could play Maori, I guess. Across the top of Brit. That's not really great, is it? But leaves CR. Oh yeah, somebody's pointing out Dave will have ovulated. If well, my suggestion of Maori would block that. Luckily. Does anybody see a nicer play for Andrew? I guess the best leave after this would be MAR or CAR. Euremic suggested. Yeah, Euremic is interesting. Leaving AR, that's quite nice. It is a bit blocky. Andrew's not that far behind though. It's he's not going to worry too much. Krieg has got Euremic suggested, and no, he's playing down the side. He's playing Murra, M-U-R-R-A. That does score a lot more points, doesn't it? But that's being picked up. Yeah, is Murra is good, yeah. Oh no, what just happened? Oh no. Oh no. You all saw that before I saw it. Well, that's quite a turning point. Oh dear. I don't know what to say. That's just one of those things, isn't it? Yeah, I guess what happens there is you think so long and you work through all the plays, and he probably just went and played it and thought, I need to play something, just play that, played it, and then just didn't double check all his twos. So Dave has got his rack hidden from us for the time being. Although I can see it from the top-down camera, it looks like he's got not a great rack. Okay, so Curium is a good play now for Andrew, and hopefully that doesn't affect him too much and he just gets going now. Okay, so we have ADEIOTY for David. Oh, poor, bad pick. And yeah, Dave's a bit slow there to turn the board around, but he does now, and he's going to have a look at what he could play. Probably wants to leave a nice balanced leave here. I'm looking at down the side of Arboreal to see if there's anything that does fit. I'm not seeing anything immediately, so above Curium, yes, Toady fits above Curium. That would leave IE. And Dave's 90 points ahead, so he'd be just happy just to keep scoring here. Yeah, I could play TU Toady. The good news is, although they're playing phonies, they're challenging them off, so you know, it's credit where credit is due. Yeah, there's some. Is that Lewis has suggested YO above Curium. Not great leave, but really you have an L floater. There's another D on the board. Those work out okay. I feel like I would probably play Toady. Get through some more tiles. I mean, I guess one problem with Toady is you are setting up a massive X spot under TI. It's for a simple Lex play, something like that. Although if you're ahead, I guess there's two ways of looking at that. Another way is that you just more scoring spots there are on the board, then the more you can just keep scoring and keep your lead. Yeah, good point. As well as Lex, it's Les as well, and Tiz. It's a bit of a volatile spot you are creating with Toady. I guess Yo is very, very safe. The only thing that could really kill you is pulling two vowels, which is not unusual to happen. He's going down the other side. Is he playing Yod? Okay, he's playing Yod. Now, the thing about Yod does set up a huge scoring spot down the second column. And we have the J in hand here, but we can't do much about it. And it's unlucky for Andrew, he can't do much about that. OT is also suggested by Quackle, but that just seems a bit bonkers. Is this the third game in a row I've seen Dave pull two blanks? I think the first game, the second game, and now the third game. He's got a bunch of things with Dave. Will have a bunch of bingos. Yeah, I think I would just play Gin, DGINN. Keep ARN. Yeah, this is looking like it could be a blowout game. Raj has also been suggested. Okay, that's a nice play. Ninja scores a little bit with the J. Keeps a okay-ish lead. Oh, and the Janana was available too. I think Ninja is a good play. Okay, so it will be bingo time for Dave. Off the top, I see ricotta. Down the side of ovulated. Andrew has pulled Arenaid. Oh yeah, somebody else sees ricotta. There'll be some others through that O, presumably. Yeah, nice fine bluis, masticot. From the M. And it's anagram. Stomatic. I just checked on my card box when I'm next seeing that word because I don't remember seeing it in a while, but it's coming up very, very soon. That pair, masticot and stomatic. Yeah, and amitotic. There's a bunch of different things here for Dave, and I'm sure he'll see pretty much all of them. Ricotta is clearly the worst. Yeah, I agree. Amitotic. How do we say that? Maybe I don't know how to pronounce words anymore. Amitotic. Yes, and looking one turn ahead, if Dave does play through the M, Andrew may find his bingo homeless. Is there any other place for it? Oh, he's playing from the L, is he? Very fancy. Probably too fancy in this case. Lactitol. That'd be an L. Well, maybe he didn't see the others, and it might just be one of those things where he's been studying a lot of words of lower probabilities that's more recent in his brain, and he sees it sooner rather than some of the other ones. It's a nice word, but probably just not the best play. Sets up a really volatile I spot where could get hit with anything, like zing or anything. But it also means that Andrew will have marinade. Dave has picked up some high-scoring tiles. Oh, he's not playing. So he's going to play Arenade there, and presumably that's to keep the board a lot more open. And it is very volatile. Unfortunately, he's going to get hit with flux along the bottom. But maybe super amazing draw. He could get hit through that D himself. And he's gonna, if he play, yeah, he's playing flux. So it looks like, and I guess Andrew will come back with Zs. So scoring is picked up. Andrew's 130 behind, but after this move, that's going to cut that down to a bingo. We also have the suggestion of Wuz and Zo. Well, that's super volatile, yeah. That's a very interesting suggestion. Was and Zoe. Yeah. In the chat, can you just let me know if the commentary's still coming through? I'm not sure if it is or not. Okay, good, thanks. I just messed around with my microphone, so I wasn't sure. Okay, good. Well, this is a really interesting position, isn't it? Was and Zoe scores a little less than Zed's, but it really keeps the board open. And but can you turn down those 26 extra points? Yeah, Lewis, he played Lactitol, and probably not the best choice, but interesting to see that word. Yeah, 25 points, or is that how much it is, or 26 points? It does feel far too many points to give up at this point in the game. You have the WH, you know, maybe something good will come. And that gets him within a bingo. Although he's not got a bingo prone leave. Okay. I'm looking at Andrew's rack, but let's focus on Dave. He's just going to play goof, is he, across the top? He has the S. He's happy with his S. There's one Y unseen. So that is a bit bold. Yeah, no alpha footlogs, right? Foot slog. Okay, foot slog. Okay. I did not know that one. Yeah, goof to me. Yeah, exactly. It seems, why not play it one over? To Andrew, I would be thinking this guy must have a Y, or at least Y and an S. But this is strange choice. He scores more points one over as well. Oh, and look at that. Well, he has the Y, the S, and the S. So there you go. So Andrew, I guess he probably just has to ignore that, and he's got a few options. Wiz, W-H-I-Z. But he's got to think about how he can get back to in a bingo kind of prone rack at some point. There is, well, yes, there's 3 S's unseen to Andrew, but Dave, well, he got lucky with that play, didn't he? So that's interesting. Andrew feels that was just too obvious a setup by Dave, and decided that he's going to score 33 rather than 38 and try and make block it a little bit. Oh, gee whiz. Poor Andrew. Well, yeah, Toady doesn't block it enough. That's, you know, I think you're right. I think Dave will definitely have his reasons for playing goof after Zeds and feel as if it was worth the risk, but it seemed to me to be a bit too bold, but it's obviously paid off for him. And this is an exchange 7 situation. Here we go, exchange 7. Okay, Dave just was he? I just missed his rack, but I think he was showing us that he sees the bingo on his rack. And what eights can he have with that rack? Somerset. Well, mestizos. Anything else? Well, Dave is 103 points ahead. He's just going to score a ton of points, isn't he, coming down here? Yeah, that's a good play. Mess domes, interesting. Okay, there's another one, mess domes. Okay, he just scores loads of points. That spot on the board has been open for a while, and somebody was going to score there eventually. So that gives him a 150-point lead. And Andrew now has a nice rack, but very little he can do with it. This is a frustrating game for Andrew. In the tournament grand scheme of things, Andrew is at 8-2, same as Rashid and Adam, but Andrew's spread is quite a lot inferior to Rashid and Adam, so it's going to be even worse after this game. But I guess as the way things go, Andrew's kind of already behind on spread, so if he was a lot closer, maybe this would be even more irritating than it already must be for him. And I haven't come up with a candidate play here, but he's got to try and score some points, surely. Yeah, seems the most reasonable play, just playing HAN down the side. And Dave is playing very quickly. He's just going to play G's, score even more points. And the magic just keeps happening for Andrew. Look at that. Poor. There's not a lot to say really in a game like this. You just have to try and shrug it off. And I guess it goes to show you that, best thing you can do is play a phony 7 on the first turn. I guess I mean, this has been a difficult game for Andrew. It's obviously all gone pear-shaped for him pretty quickly, but he did make a mistake on the second turn, and it's such an annoying mistake for him playing the RA, and that can happen. But I guess that if you want to kind of think where could I have done better, clearly that would be it. But these things do happen. So Dave has both of the S's on his rack. Looking at the unseen pool, he's probably not super concerned about bingos. The only bingo, well, I guess through the O and to the T, there is a few bingo lanes, but he's just keeping going with Jedi. And Andrew is left with WW. Yep, and Dave has helpfully lined up the word he sees before alphabetizing it again. Actually, that Pepsi, that's interesting. That's not a word, is it? There's another anagram in that. I'm looking it up. Paspies, yes. P-A-S-P-I-E-S, and sappiest. Well, I think Andrew will be the sappiest after this. He'll be pretty bummed about it. Is he going to play roll? Yeah. Okay, and Dave plays sappiest, so a pretty straightforward decision there. And the word he was looking at, the other one was apepsias. So Dave did see both. And the 7 on that rack is paspies. So great. I mean, Dave has seen everything and played it. I guess we did think that lactitol was probably a mistake he could have been punished for, missing Stomatic and various other players. But he has done well. And the fun just keeps happening for Andrew. Look, another great wreck for him. It looks like this is going to be a 200-point win for Dave. And one early result just came in. Noah Slatkoff has beaten Jim Brennan, so Noah is into the top 10. And Ottawa is a bit of a hotbed for Collins. There's Adam Logan, is it from Ottawa? Jeremy Hildebrand, Jim Brennan, and Noah Slatkoff. And I'm not sure if Matthew Tunnicliffe is playing Collins or if he's playing NWL, but I know he can play both. So Ottawa's got a lot of good players. Yeah, nice find there by Craig, suggesting uneven. Sets up the H as well. Quackle is suggesting Hove or Vanine. I'm not sure Hove would ever be anything that I would have seen immediately. Oh yeah, no, I'm just pointing out that on the Craig's, I think Craig's operating Quackle. He's showing the options on Quackle. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Alec did point out uneven, and then Craig showed it. My bad. Yeah. Okay, so Haven, that's pretty reasonable. Gives him options of getting out of this game and having a break before the next one. Nope, Jason Keller is also into the top 10 now. He's now at 7 and 4. So he's risen up through the rankings. And we'll have to see if Dave can win all four out this morning. I guess I should be trying to work out what is the best way for Dave to maximize his spread, but I kind of have taken Andrew's position in this game, and I don't really care what he's going to play. I would just want it to be over. What's he going to play? Could he play, well, Iwi, but that's, no, GIE under Sapiest, maybe? Yeah, nub is going to come down above G's. You can't block that, so I think GIE under Sapiest is probably the best. Which I've also seen is in the chat. So yeah, sorry, I'm not keeping up with the chat as quickly as I should be. And Dave is next. Dave will next be playing Will Anderson, so I hope we get to see that game. I guess I'm not sure quite how the streaming's working and whether if it's just table one, that's who we get to see. I presume that's what's happening. And we'll probably be seeing Dave against Will. And another new face into the top 10. Winter has got into the top 10. He's at 7-4. Dave is really very fastidious about trying to eke out every extra point, which is exactly what he should be doing. It's just a bit boring to commentate on, but there we go. He plays G. And Nub or Bun, well, Nub scores more. That'll be coming down. So well played, Dave, except for your first move. And unlucky Andrew. So I think there'll be one more commentary game for me today. I'll do the next one. And I'm going to have a very quick tea break. I'm going to check the result of the cricket. I'll see what the score in the cricket is, and then I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, hi everyone. Looks like we're back. And again in the chat, if you could just let me know you can hear me, that'd be great. So this is round 12. We have Dave Koenig against Will Anderson. And Dave is at 10-1 and on a great streak. And we don't know what Will is at because his result from the last game hasn't been updated. Good, you can hear me, great. Will, we're just waiting on the result of Will against Rashid. So obviously that will come through in a moment. They've obviously handed the slip in. And yes, Dave's at 10-1. Adam Logan is at 9-2. And then we have Dave Wiegand at 8-3. We'll see what Rashid is at in a minute. Yeah, no squaring of tiles there. Very unorthodox. I've played both of these guys a bunch of times, and when I lived in New York, played Will many times around town, at his house, and also at the club. And Dave was living in Jersey for a while and played him a lot. This is quite a few years ago, and this will be fun. I actually I played Will in his very first tournament back in 2009, and modesty permits me from saying who won that Division 4 that day. Okay, we're off. And it looks like, is that Will on the left-hand side? Just double checking. Yes, we have a nice play there of Galax. It's pretty obvious play. He's going to play it. And Dave is on the right-hand side, and his rec is not as fruitful just yet. So what are the options for Dave? Maybe roof above. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, I don't see any immediately great options for Dave. Will is lucky that he's drawn the U to go with his Q, giving him some flexibility. And I think maybe something just above AX, like FOR, seems reasonable. Yes, I think FOR seems the most reasonable play. 21, leaving TIRO. Again, I'm not quackling as we go along, so I'm probably going to miss a bunch of plays. But I like all the suggestions in the chat. That's it's very helpful. Yeah, so Dave is never one to shuffle his tiles, so we'll never get any insight into what he's thinking. And as I say, that immediately does start to pick up FOR, and I think he's going to play it. He does. Okay. That seems reasonable. So I guess objective here for Will is to score and get rid of this Q. I don't think this is a turn where you want to necessarily be holding on to it. Doesn't have the I for Fakir underneath the FA. He could just play QUA above Galax. It's not a great score, but it's okay. He has the W for above Ox for Wox, so if he does want to hold on to maybe QUA, he could play above 4 and make Wox. Yeah, Craig is suggesting score with the W, keep QU. Yeah, Quarto is on his rack. He could play under Galax playing Quarto. Another option, it's a pretty safe option, 29 keeping W. Yeah, Loquat being the other one. And Loquat is what he's going to play. Okay, that scores the most. WR is got a tiny amount of synergy, not too bad. Excuse me. Yeah, I'd be tempted there to play something like Watt and FAW or WOX. I think Watt making FAW is safer, but anyway, Will just wants to get on with things. So Dave, he's got work AIT. He has a couple of hooks for FOR. He can go under OX with his O. And he can go above OX with his W, making WOX as well. So something like WOC, but the problem with that is obviously it gives easy access to the O column. And Cueto has been suggested. That's going to play through Loquat. And Troika coming down to make Fora, F-O-R-A. So Dave is playing WOC, which actually I'm not keen on. I mean, it does score a lot of points, but I think I prefer Troika and Fora. Yeah, I'm not really liking that play at all. So, okay. Especially you don't have an E. But Dave's done it. And one thing that will not do is miss bingos. So you are pretty sure if there is a bingo to be had, will find it. And he does find the only bingo. Very nice play, Will. But that gives an easy Zayn straight back. So off we go. We're off to a fast pace. Dave's going to be just trailing by a little bit after this play. It is a nice play by Dave. Oh, and it looks like we might have another bingo coming. We will have another bingo. Flinger immediately under the U of unwatery, but maybe there's even better stuff. Yeah, I see Flinger. I haven't even started looking for anything better just yet, but that's an immediate one. Oh, and looking at Dave's rack, we might be going again with another one, Chunter. Oh yeah, sorry, Flinger down the side of Woke. I completely was not thinking. Obviously, that's where it's going to play it. So Wok does backfire. Okay. Dave will still be able to bingo though, with Chunter. And in case you did not check for yourself, news just in from the scoreboard is that Will actually did lose his last game to Rashid. So Rashid is in 9-2, joint second with Adam. Will is at 7-4 going into this game. Dave sees Chunter, obviously, plays it. And we are off to a fast start in this game. Dave is going to be trailing by about 40 points. 45 he's trailing by. And Will is going with the Benji TM style of putting tiles on your rack, which is in all directions. Yeah, no R for Capo e Ira. Which is funny because I think somebody yesterday on Facebook linked to some of those old Causeway videos from 9 years ago, and I just flicked on 3 or 4 of them. And I thought they were good interviews. I remember seeing them 9 years ago, but there was I saw the one with Austin, and they always ask the last question, what's your favorite word? And Dave Eldar's response is that he's incredulous anybody would ask him that question, which was fun. But Austin Shin's reaction was that Capo e Ira was his favorite word. But anyway, it doesn't play. Yeah, I think cacao is a sensible move here. Keeping you a big bingo ahead. And Dave has Big Dave on his rack. Okay, looks like Alex's favorite word is a word I cannot pronounce. Yeah, I like Cacao. That's the only move I've seen that I'm drawn to right now. I can't think what else I'd really want to leave here. We have a suggestion of Ice Cap, which is interesting. I think being 80 points ahead, I prefer leaving the C in the in the first column there rather than the I. The board is way open, wide open, so I guess leaving the C there over the I is not necessarily a big deal. It's pretty hard to defend this board as it stands. Yes, Ice Cap, Apache also suggested. I have no idea what Ipecac means. I'm going to look it up. It's a part of a plant. It's more specific than that, but that's all we need to know. It's a part of a plant. So this game is wide open. We have 4 S's unseen. We have 2 blanks unseen. It does not feel like closing is the thing to do here. I think just score. And interesting. That's where he's going to play it. So Will knows all his words very nicely. He plays Ipecac. I guess he doesn't want to drop something at the beginning of the triple lane in the bottom left corner. And Big Dave is on turn. Dave just counting again, just to check, as is his wont. So Will be punished for his AO leave. I think it was the right play, but hopefully he draws balanced tiles. Oh, not too good. Okay, so Dave, what are you going to do? He probably wants to move the V and ideally the B. And he looks like he's going to go with a mass turnover, playing Deving, which scores relatively well, opens up even more lanes. That seems a reasonable play. B's not a great tile, but it's reasonable. And yeah, I think Vase is very likely to come down here underneath Zayn. I think that is by far the most likely play. Wow, Dave got a bingo too. Wow, this is a fun game. Will's going to hate the leave if he plays Vase, but really, what else can you do? You need to start paying attention to that part of the board. Scores 51 points. That would put him up 105-ish. I think he has to play it. Yeah, the pool is consonant heavy. Um, it does make sense to play, not worry too much about the A, E, O leave. It's not like he's leaving duplicate vowels. Interesting he's taking his time on this move. But I don't know what else he would be considering if he didn't play that. It looks like he's definitely going to do that. Well, yeah, Vesa or Vase. I prefer Vase because it's leaving unduplicated vowels on your rack. There is only one A left as well in the pool, unseen to him, so dumping the extra A there's 4 more E's. Yeah, I think Vase every time. Or, as I used to call it, vase. Dave, just counting it, just to check. Sorry, that shouldn't make me laugh every time. Okay, so Dave has a bingo. He's going to play it, and let's see what Will picks. I don't know what Will's last tile is. Did anybody see that last tile? One thing that's interesting about watching Will is that he's not alphabetizing his tiles, so I guess he just doesn't need to. So he's got oleate, but what's the last tile? Oh, it is an S. Okay. All right. Good for him. So he's going to bingo too. And yeah, somebody points out that's a very nice fit for oleates, right down the side of Bashine, making BOELST, etc. Now, one thing I do know that Will has mentioned in the past, and it's kind of funny for, such a simple word, ST, but if you've played TWL forever, and then you're playing Collins, even after a few years, sometimes ST is just not the most instinctive 2-letter word to see. And as soon as I say that, he just plays it, so obviously it's he doesn't worry, he sees it immediately. Very nice, very nice. Everyone's playing well in this game, although I guess Wok is the one play that we, as a group decision, we were not too sure about. And Dave has the J with that clunky B still. Oh no, this is a different clunky B because he obviously bingoed with Bashine previous turn. Dave triple checking the score. And well, Dave's not. He's 106 back. He's not out of this game. Neither blanks are seen. We've had 5 bingos, still no blanks. Yes, I've just noticed that Will has a bingo though. So, oh yeah, Lewis in the chat mentored. Exactly. This is unfortunately, if Dave doesn't take out that spot, he's going to be looking at another bingo coming down. And yes, mentored rather than entoderm. I'm just thinking, what you would play mentored right over entoderm. Even though, yeah, just thinking sometimes, that makes it harder for Dave to bingo back playing Enterdom, but you still play Mentored. Anyway, should be focusing on what Dave's got to do. He's got the S, but is the S that valuable right now on this board? There's certainly no obvious bingo spot that he can play with his S. He doesn't have a great S spot to use in a bingo way. So he probably just needs to score with this J. What do we think? What's the best place to score? That G of Galax is still just hanging there as a, ING bingos are not the greatest to go for, but should be in his head that that's also a potential lane. His S he could cash in with flingers, but it's not going to be a great play. But certainly not on this turn would he be thinking of doing that. He could play Jol down the side of ZA. Doesn't really interfere with anything. Keeps the board somewhat open. And he's playing jab. Yeah, he has Jol by the side of Obe and Lee, but he's playing jab, trying to keep the board open in a fairly good leave. Maybe slowing the game down a little. Yeah, Jol next to BE was a good place to play Jol, and it would have blocked the bingo. But I think Dave presumably just wants to keep the, he wants to keep the board open, and ODIS can lead to bad picks of double I's and things like that, whereas keeping the extra consonant was probably good in that situation. But so be it. Will is going to bingo with Mentored, and now it's up to Dave to see if he can bingo back. And can he, is the question. So yeah, this is the 7th out of 7 blanks that we've seen Dave had this morning. And Will gets the 8th. So there are some 7s on this rack, clearly. Oodlins, Diabols, Doolies. Oh, yeah, thanks. Alec has put them in the chat there. Oh, Will's going to have some bingos too. Yeah, he's clearly got some options. I don't see anything that plays for Dave. That N of Flinger is open, but his rack does not give him options to that spot. And that's exactly where Will is going to play, I'd imagine. Dave being 150 behind right now. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. This has been pretty faultless from Will. I would say he hasn't. Oh, well done, Craig. And well done, Alec, in the chat. That is embarrassing miss by me. Yeah, Smilodon or Smilodon, however you say that. I've just checked my card box. I saw that and quote missed it 3 days ago. Or what day was that? 2 days ago or something. Yeah, great find. Yeah, I missed that. I don't have. I'm just checking my. I always like to know when I see these bingos. Look at my card box. I do not have a good record with that, but it's an extinct genus of saber-toothed tigers. So it's exactly what it says it is. Smilodon. Well, I'd like to see if Dave sees it. It'd be a great find if he sees this. And we'd like to see good bingos. No, in two places. Well, he has it in two places. That might actually help him because he might start looking at the M, and if he sees, if he starts thinking of letters that the M can go with that rack, he might actually see it. And I would suggest if he sees it in both places, that even though that Smilodon is 3 fewer points in the second column, that might be where he chooses to play it. Having said that, is it? He kind of needs to bingo twice, doesn't he? And even if Will didn't have a bingo, he would just play down through the E of Mentor on the next turn and block everything. So I guess it's just one of those situations where you just have to pick a move and maybe hope for a dream draw. But it's a nice bingo. Well done, Dave. Excellent. Really nice. He's seen it. That's good. So we've seen some pretty high-level Scrabble, I would say, on the top table. Be interesting to see that in a sim. I mean, yeah, OS is available for 42 points, but pretty hard to turn down this bingo. I think you play it and hope to draw the other blank. That is right. That we have seen a few blunders actually. I guess I was rose-tinted glasses. I was ignoring the first 2 turns in the last game. Now, can Will still bingo? Probably not, right? Through the M, I don't see it. Anything that slides down the side of IPE? Yep, there is something through the M, and he sees it. The magic continues. We are being treated to Will Anderson Bingo Clinic. And Dave has some nice ones of his own in this game. Yeah, and parroted also fit. IPE. Yeah, it's funny he's playing imparted rather than pirated or parroted. I'd imagine he would see all of them. But yeah, that game was Lewis says 17 moves. That was over in a flash. And I guess both of these two could get out into Niagara and find some lunch quickly. That was a great game. 587-point win for Will. That really digs into Dave's spread. His spread is going to come down to around 850-ish, maybe a bit more than that, maybe around, yeah, about that, I think. And Adam Logan is already at 888 in spread, so if he wins his next game, he may actually end up lunch in first place. It might be Adam. And Rashid's got a chance of being in first place too, because he's 1 game behind Dave, and his spread is in the 800s as well. So we could have 3 people at the top, all really, really close next to each other on 10 and 2. And I forgot to do it earlier, but I want to shout out to Mark Frankulon, 5th place at the minute. He deserves to have a good tournament. He's a great guy and doing a lot of studying recently. So well done, Mark. Okay, I've enjoyed commentating. I will see everyone after lunch. I'm probably just going to be watching, and I think Lewis is going to be commentating, and I look forward to that. So catch you all later.